For the latest, south side or the north side, not tuned to the greatest. Home team for the home teams, both sides got our own rings. On the mound or the long ball, but we don't put the wrong strings. Yeah, it's that time of the year now. Wrigley or Gantes or the whole league that we hear now. New show with a new mood, discussions and interviews, straight rumors that might be. This is Pinwheels and Knife.
What's up, everybody? We're doing the retweets and tweets and counter tweets and everything like that. I'll actually be back in 1 second.
Tweets. Lots of tweets. Get on them tweets. And there's a tweet. And I would like to ask Alex when Javi's next postseason game.
Kevin, did you jump on the Tim Anderson home run bet?
I did not. I jumped on the Cubs winning after 5.
I saw that.
Minus
you got it right. 1-0.
Yeah, he was 1-0 into the going into the 6th. My actual excuse was that Kyle Hendricks will get him at least through 5 or 6 usually, and he's good for that. And
I saw you say that, but I think Kyle Hendricks has a 10 ERA in the first inning.
Yeah.
but Pirates. So there you go.
Even outcome bias. Shreve was on. Shreve was pitching actually when I.
All right. You guys ready?
MVP Salve. I saw this tweet.
All right. 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? It is Thursday, September 30th, and you have found the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast. I'm your host, Matt Zwoski, as seen on TikTok, a.k.a. Father Zoe, a.k.a. Southside Zoe. The TikTok joke's funny. You fuckers should laugh at that. With me, as always, Mr. Aldo Soto.
Frank Schwindel, MVP numbers, just saying it. This was a 60-game season.
And the good Reverend Gabe Fitz.
As seen on Grindr and Thrinder. I'm sorry, what? No. Hi, guys. It's good to be back after last week. I had an event with my girlfriend, so sorry for missing. You guys had a better-looking dude on here anyway, so we were good.
Wait, what's Thinder?
Thrinder?
Yeah.
Thrinder? Oh, well, if you don't know, you need to probably download the app and give it a shot.
Knowing you, I don't want to do that.
well, think of something that sounds kind of like thread.
Is it people looking for threesomes?
See, you've been on the site, you lying sack of shit.
Well, I mean, I'm not the smartest man, but the way you just described it, I
use context as well.
When I stomp on your foot and clap my hands and say hello, Mr. Thompson, you say hello. Sorry, Simpsons reference. Yeah, it's going to be that kind of night, everybody. We got a good show for you. We're going to be talking White Sox playoff roster, what's going on with the White Sox right now, and, we'll probably sprinkle in some Cubs here or there.
Nah, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, they're
going to put a bow on the season. It's the death knell.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
Just being honest here, I cannot remember the last Cubs game I watched.
And that's fine. This is trust tree. You're in the tree
game?
with the nest and the leaves. You're in the tree. It's fine. So we're going to dive right into it. Let's tap this keg. As always, the show is brought to you by PointsBet. Make sure you're going to one of 3 Chicagoland locations, signing up for PointsBet. They got the no juice spreads for the football season, which has been phenomenal. And using promo code Pinwheels. And it's also sponsored by us, guys. There's a pinned tweet to the top of our Twitter account at PinwheelsIvyPod. If you feel the need to support the show, it'll give you some guidance. And also, it's getting a little, well, it was chilly, and then it wasn't chilly. You know how Chicago rolls, and now it's supposed to be cold again next week. But go get yourself a 3/4 sleeve or a hoodie or a long sleeve. Our logo's
or a long sleeve 3/4 underneath, so you really have multiple layers.
Layers.
Yeah. One girl that you didn't really trust.
Our logo's pretty dope. The
Got
shirts look good. The shirts look real good.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you check those out. There's a lot to talk about with the White Sox going into this. You decided no hat, huh, bud? You've been struggling with that hat, no hat since you got on.
Yeah, man. I want to show off the Vegas Aviators hat, but at the same time, I just with a light.
Yeah,
I feel shady, and I did just totally take a nap. By the way, I came home from school and just crashed. So
I don't know if there's quarter zips, Alex. It's a good question. I have to look into that. I think there is. I'm pretty sure the site, the way that it's set up, is it slaps the logo on any kind of clothing you want. But we'll look into that. Just like Alex, you can be watching us live on Wednesday nights. Get in the comment section. Fitz, I got to tell you, man, last week the comment section was.
Oh yeah, well, because Alex was so excited to be able to bag on me while I was not here to defend myself.
It wasn't even Alex though. Like the whole, the whole like Sox Twitter showed up.
It was DM.
Well, also one of the big things was there was no Wednesday night game last week.
Yeah, and there wasn't a live Beef Loaf 108 show's nipple performance either. So we were
also another benefit of watching live is you can enjoy things like this.
Oh my goodness, great.
Sweet sassy Molassie. Now I got to change my underwear again. For those of you listening to the podcast, it was just literally the video of Louise Robert. Just
no, I think they know by the sound of it.
Yeah, that was one of the. Ooh, that home run got me going. But
oh my goodness, great.
Oh my goodness gracious.
We're gonna need a mop on aisle 6.
Yeah,
a mop on aisle 6.
That just makes me feel all tingly.
I am upset that I didn't tell you guys on that bet.
Oh yeah,
in the first inning, and then you know.
Yeah, threw down $50 on points bet. Made like $300 on it. It was pretty dope. Not a bad Tuesday night. I put 50 on TA to hit a home run tonight, but his at-bats have not looked great. But
recently suspended problem child, troublemaker.
Let's start there.
Troublemaker,
yeah.
Tim Anderson.
So, we haven't had a show since the little brouhaha.
Yeah.
The little Tilly in Detroit.
Little dust up,
little Donnybrook. Is that just Gavin Sheets getting more RBIs? God damn, that boy good. We're gonna get to him too.
DH starter.
Yeah, we're gonna get to him again. We're gonna get to him for sure. I got thoughts on Gavin Sheets, but let's talk about the little Donnybrook in Detroit. So White Sox are playing the usual noon Monday game in Detroit. Things are going fine. You know, White Sox are catching heat at the right time. Everything's going whatever. And then in the 9th inning, I don't even know the pitcher's name. The guy's a fucking no one. Hits Jose Abreu, which, stop me if you've heard this before, Jose Abreu gets hit by a pitch. Although you just looked it up. How many times has he been hit this year?
22 now.
22 now. Well, he got hit, he got hit tonight, Fids.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. So that's in the upper
8 more than Wilson Contreras, who was
in the upper echelon of dudes getting hit. And the scum, he's not a scumbag, but the nobody pitcher from Detroit after the game was like, oh, well, the scouting report on him is low and away, finish up and in because he crowds the plate. Well, if you look at the video, though, in the still frames, no part of his body is over the plate.
Bro, he dives into the pitch. I broke this down on the tainted glove. It's 100% the fact that he can't defend himself on a pitch in or half as well. It's like KB too. It's like KB too. KB can't do it either. KB, you have to accept that as part of the swing. You know what? You don't want people to go up and in. Make that a pitch that you can hit. Hit that pitch. Make him find a new cold spot because his numbers, that is his cold spot. You can't just. No, I looked at. And I'm not gonna throw there because he dives in. That's not fair to the pitcher to say, oh, don't throw there because dude dives into a pitch. Right. And you no longer can throw to that spot. Yeah, there's a danger of throwing in, of course, always. But you know what? There's guys that get dosed. Anthony Rizzo gets dosed all the time too. Like the guys that dive in, they commit to it, which is fine. But there's an inherent danger, and there is a responsibility, an onus on the hitter to at least somewhat be able to defend yourself and protect yourself.
No,
with his transfer, he can't defend himself. He's diving right in, and that's fine. I don't blame him for it. I don't blame him for being mad. I don't blame him for, I'm not going to go on the limb and say that he didn't accidentally. That was on purpose. He pivoted. He had his body square with the right or with the left field line, and then by the time he's done sliding, the other foot has come all the way across. He is 180 degrees, flipped his butt. His ass is then facing the left field line, so he flipped it. He went in hard. He slid 4 feet past the bag. He popped up chirping. He was pissed. He was pissed. It's fine. I don't care. Like, careful going after dude's lower body. Careful trying to not get hurt going in because you're pissed. But in the end, I'm fine with it because it's dudes being dudes going out there and physically, just settle on their shit. It wasn't his fault, the shortstop's fault. It was the pitcher's fault. And if you didn't know this, Detroit hadn't hit a White Sox hitter since 2019 until that point. So
yeah, and I know your thoughts on the slide, Fids, and I've read a lot of other baseball guys' thoughts on the slides too, and
he was 6 8 inches off the ground when he slid too. If you look at the still photograph,
right,
and he was late.
The thing too, though, if you look, Jose's not exactly a prolific base runner. If you look at his other slides, that was a hard slide. I'm not trying to say that wasn't a hard slide, and I'm not trying to justify it by being like that's just how he slides, but it's kind of just how he slides. But
he's a big 250-pound galoo. So if he's late, it's ugly regardless.
Right, exactly.
I mean, he did it for
but that
because
he jumped. He jumped.
No, that wasn't Jose Abreu is a bad base runner. He just slid bad.
And as Alex says in the comments here, AJ Hinch, the manager of the Tigers, specifically when asked post game about it, was like, "No, that was not a dirty slide."
I was just
being physical is not dirty. He didn't, again, I don't think he was trying to. Dirty is intentionally going to hurt someone. Being pissed off just to blast somebody. Guess what?
Yeah,
these are grown ass fucking adult male athletes. They're big. They're strong. They push. They fight. Not all dudes are the little chihuahuas that just start fights and then hide behind everybody else. Some dudes just want to get physical to get it out of the way, and then it's just like a pitcher dosing a guy. It's once you're done, it's over. It should be over, and you're not going to see. I don't think you'll see the Tigers retaliate ever on that. No. I think it sucks that Tim Anderson was suspended but this is what happens when you get pissed against bottom feeders. When there's nothing to lose or nothing to win in the whole thing, you get something stupid happens. And look, it could have been worse. He could have gotten hurt. Tim Anderson getting a 3-game suspension because he went out there in this melee, or if you want to call it a melee, not even a melee, just this. No. It's a dude standing around chatting, like a herd of cows out there at second base. But that's things that happen as a result. The butterfly effect and the reverb of your actions have consequences, and in this case, minor consequence, thank goodness. It could have been worse. So that's as a coach, that's what I'm looking at. Is the slide was dangerous. It could have injured. It could, even if it's a frustration slide, or he's just a little bit.
It was, and that's what it was. You
want to say, Peter, man, bro, you're too important, man. It's Tigers, for God's sake.
He is, and
we're talking about the Tigers not retaliating, but like they must be scared if Dallas Keuchel gets at them.
That was the dumbest thing. Dallas Keuchel's such a boner.
Was that Dallas Keuchel last thing? Like, hey guys, I'm over here.
Yeah.
Don't forget about me. Hey,
I got your back, bro.
Jose.
I got you.
Tigers are like, please, Dallas, come send a message.
Yeah. You'll probably miss it and have just hang 85 down the middle.
So that's my thing, though. Like, it happened. Tempers were hot, but some of the big things that I took away from the little, the Donnybrook, the little Tilly there. One, Garrett Crochet's got some issues. Garrett Crochet needs to talk to somebody, because Garrett Crochet tried to fight the entire Tigers team, which was hilarious to me. I was just like, God damn, boy. The redneck in him came out quick. Like, he looked like someone's uncle, like 42 bush lights deep, that just wanted to fight everyone.
That tells me in the offseason when he goes to his favorite local country western watering hole. Mm-hmm. He's that guy that gets into a little bit of it. Hopefully he learns to punch with his right hand, not his left hand.
Right. Well, yeah.
Did it have to do with the 2 runs he gave up?
Yeah. Well, he could have been frustrated too. But then the other big thing was Gavin Sheets, man. So Jose Abreu was fucking hot, like hot. And he's a big, strong dude. Mm-hmm. And Gavin Sheets is a big guy in his own right. A lot younger, big, strong dude, but he's a rookie. And he came out of that dugout and had the state of mind to go up and bear hug Abreu from behind and pull him out of that. Because, like you said, Fids, Abreu's way too important for this bullshit.
Yep. And
for a rookie to, one, be the one that goes and grabs Pito, like Tim Anderson runs by him, Moncada runs by him, all these other veteran pitchers run by him. Like, they're doing their thing, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that whatsoever. But for a rookie to have the clear eyes to be like, holy shit, that's the captain, I got to get him the fuck out of there, and grab him, and then be strong enough to corral a pissed off Jose Abreu and get him out of there. It was him, and then Eloy was like trying to help, and I even tweeted out, like, if Sheets and Eloy are having this much trouble holding Jose Abreu back, he is the strongest old man in the world right now, because he was hot. and they got him out of there. But Gavin Sheets, as we all know, I've adopted him as my guy since Madrigal has been traded, and that just moved him up the rankings. So that was really cool. The whole will they retaliate if they do? It's so stupid. It's so fucking dumb.
It's done with. They already retaliated. That's Abreu retaliated.
Exactly. It's so done.
Yeah,
And like,
it was just the physical confrontation part, and that's those guys. God, that's not showing somebody up. That's not going to get.
That's so stupid.
Create. You want to talk about unwritten rules? Blah 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 blah. That's what happened with Jose. That is what closes the book on that. Is you had your chance. The two of you. You had your 4 feet of separation. Nobody there to stop you. You didn't act on it. You move on.
Right.
And that's where that was killed. Which is again why I do appreciate when baseball has moments like this, where they're almost like cathartic. They settle a situation. That's what they should be. If the Tigers retaliate, then they're Bush League. That's Bush League because it's over. They had their chance. They had their chance to retaliate with what Jose did. 4 feet from each other, handle it or don't. But that was your moment. If we talk unwritten rules, that was your shot. You didn't shoot your shot. You're over. You're good. It must be okay.
No, I 100% agree. And it's like, I don't know if your guys, dads or coaches or whatever told you this when you were younger. The most dangerous guy in a fight is a guy who has nothing left to lose.
Yep.
And the Tigers have nothing to lose. Mm-hmm. Nothing at all. And I don't know. So Abreu gets hit on Wednesday night right before we go live. And I see a flood of tweets going, they did it because they know nothing will happen to them. You're fucking dumb. Like, come on. Just stop it. What are you doing? I understand the old school mentality of the eye for an eye, but he came in hard, whatever, and it's done. AJ Hinch said it was done. LaRusso was fired up after the game. They tried to ask him about it. He's like, no, whatever I say, you guys are going to twist around, so I'm just going to keep my mouth shut, which somebody taught.
It's like Burger King. Did you hear Tony? Tony said throw at him. He wanted some Burger King.
Right. So he dodged that question, but I think it's over with. I think it's done. The White Sox aren't rolling out some scrub AAA pitcher. I mean, you got Lancelin, Giolito, and Cease pitching against the Tigers this weekend. Like,
giving Keuchel those extra days off to start game 1.
Oh, setting up a game 1, game 5 start for Keuchel.
Yeah, no, Keuchel's setting up 2 times. He ain't too worried about that shit. But I don't know. That's my 2 thoughts on the whole thing. Like, it's over. It's done with. Don't be stupid. Bigger fish to fry. Mm-hmm. We got to show them we got balls. I'd rather show them the World Series ring. Like,
show them your nuts while you're hanging on to the World Championship trophy. Then show them the bubble gum on your leg. That's what you show the bubble gum.
Oh, sorry. Eloy was chasing the ball down. I got very nervous, but he stayed on his feet and made the catch.
Hey, man, Eloy is the second best outfielder for the White Sox.
Yep.
What are you talking about?
How's my bet going? By the way, I'm really trying my best to ruin it for the Cardinals. And so my bet is winning. Okay, Brewers are up 3-0. Awesome.
Good.
Because I'm betting Cardinals.
Actually, it'd be pretty funny.
Betting Brewers until
it'd be pretty funny if the Cardinals just won out and then just lost in the wild card game.
The wild card, yeah.
That would be the funniest thing ever.
Our resident fact checker, Alex Root, thinks that they're going to possibly sting either the Dodgers or the Giants. He thinks that, and in the one game or anything can happen. Yeah. That's true. I just want 3 days off because they're the Wednesday game in the wild card. It's those few days off. I think are going to do a little bit of a number on the heat check. I think usually. I mean,
we talked about it last week, Fids. In any major sport right now, more than ever, I think in the history of sports, all you gotta do is get to the dance.
Oh yeah,
there's so much parity in sports right now that, like, we see 8 seeds going to championships in all major sports. Like, it's not that big of a it's not that crazy of a thing anymore. But
and that's again the Marlins. Back in the day, the Marlins. They started that whole thing the minute we had a wild card in baseball. It's always it was always the wild card seemed like the wild card would, because it's the team that's playing meaningful baseball down the stretch that just carries it over. The team that wins 120 games, like remember the old Mariners? Yep. Remember the Mariners won, what was it, 120, 122 or something?
Is that when Ken Griffey Jr. robbed the Twins at the wall for Billy Haywood?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's a good thing.
There's like 20 people that don't get that reference, and I appreciate all of
And
you.
he just hands him the ball.
Yep.
Doesn't he pat him on his head? I forget what he
Yep.
does. Yeah.
Here's a
That's
stat that I saw about wild card teams. Number one, let's see. Wild card teams are 33 and 35 in division series since 2012. So it's almost a 500. It's almost a toss up between the wild card team and whoever they
Makes it tough to
They
bet.
went to the one game. They went to the one game.
No,
What's
the
wild card?
the
What is
wild
wild
card
card
game
say?
winner versus the number one seed. The record is the wild card. It's 33 and 35.
Right. So let's talk about it because wild cards settled differently now, though. So it's not like the old wild card where
since 2012.
you got a 5-game series, you got a one gamer.
Since the new one, since 2012.
So okay, that's what I was wondering is because that one game is almost like
33 and
50 point toss.
35.
Makes sense. I mean, and then you get to that full series, and again, hot teams, the hot hand keeps going. I mean, the Cardinals are hot right now. Look, here's the facts: the Cubs tapped out with basically the same exact record as the Cardinals. The Cubs traded their best players, quit.
See, it's different though. I know they bring that up, but like
the Cardinals were banged.
The Cardinals have their guys locked up. The Cubs didn't.
True, but
like that's
again,
the main thing. It was like the
like you
Cardinals
said,
have
into the
Arenado,
postseason.
Goldschmidt, fucking their young outfielders who just keep going nuts.
But do you just tap out when you're? Like,
well, you tap out because you're not going to sign anyone.
Well, you tap out, so you don't ever play a season out if you have guys that are going to their contracts.
They've done that. You got mad at them because in 2017 they went for it.
Dude, I've been calling for them to go for it this season, this entire time. One last run.
No, but I'm saying like if they do that and then they don't, they
give
it Brennan Davis for Max Scherzer, and then Max Scherzer leaves and the Cubs lose in the NLDS. Are you happy? No, I'll ask you. Are you happy with that?
I'm happy with. If I was a Cardinal fan, I'd be really happy my team didn't tap out because my team is now playing in the postseason. If the Cubs,
your team is still going to have your star players next year. The Cubs weren't guaranteed.
You know what? I want to win in the here and now. I don't give two shits about 5 years from now. Right now, I want here and now. I'm not guaranteed 5 years. I'm guaranteed 2021 right now. That's it. And
that's for you. Either you can die tomorrow. I could die tonight.
Yeah, I know. So I'd like to see winning baseball one last time before it. They didn't tap out. They said
we get to see Frank Schwindel. I'll be happy.
It's true. We get to see 4 hits for Patrick Wisdom over the course of 16 games. That was a fun one.
Dingers.
Sorry,
it's Homer though. Hey,
what was this thing?
All right, so Dwayne commenting from Facebook says, looking at the last 4 games, the starting pitching lineup in the playoffs, regardless we're at for round 1, Rodon would start game 1, Lynn game 2, Gio game 3, Cease game 4. How do you feel about that going up versus the Astros, where they go as a series, and who wins? So I am going to go ahead and start this out with, I don't think that rotation is set in stone. If you look at, what did we say they were doing this weekend, Aldo?
It is Lynn, Giolito, Cease.
Right. So Lynn and Giolito will still be on full rest, even if they go for game 1s. I still think they go Giolito game 1. I don't want to wait to game 3 for Giolito. I think Giolito goes game 1. I think it goes Giolito, Lynn, Cease, and then they do exactly what they're doing right now. Throw Rodon out there, hope he goes 5, and then bring in Michael Kopech. You're going to start those piggybacks because now you have.
Do you think it matters if they go down 2-0? If it goes 2-0 and they're like, fuck.
I think
let's
that
get
matters
Rodon
no
in
matter
there.
what.
Let's just throw all hands on deck. Do the Rodon Kopech game.
Yeah, and isn't
because you can't trade because their contracts are up in the offseason. Sorry, be a smart
aleck. But what? Isn't that isn't that the case? For any playoff series though, even when you're not worried about your rotation, if you go down 2-0,
but you said I'm saying, would you trust Cease down 2-0 or Rodon down 2-0?
Probably Rodon down 2-0, especially this Rodon Kopech.
That's what I'm saying. If that specific situation, if you're down 2-0, it's obviously it's a must win. You're going to throw everyone you can out there to win. But would you rather start that game with Cease or with Rodon?
Probably Rodon. A little more poise.
Yeah.
So Rodon took the mound Wednesday night against Cincinnati. His night looks like he's done. He went 5 strong, gave up I think 2 or 3 hits, no runs. didn't get over 93 miles an hour with the fastball, but as I was telling Aldo before the game, it looked like he was throwing at like 75%. Like,
he was still great.
he didn't have like his whole body into his pitches like he usually does. Like, but the fastball still had movement. The slider looked crisp.
So he pitched.
Yeah,
He was a pitcher. He was a pitcher today.
but he just didn't ramp up the velo. He kept that under wraps, and I'm all for that. You know, you're playing the Reds in a pointless game on September 29th. Like, why would you try to do anything that might hurt yourself?
Right.
So I'm good with it. But yeah, if you go down 2-0, I think you put Rodon. You do the Rodon, Kopech, fuck it, Raylo, whoever. You just don't want to go. Obviously, you don't want to go down 3-0. Hopefully, that's not the case. But to that point, I guess that kind of rolls into what I really want to get into is everybody talks about ramping up or getting hot at the right time or blah, 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 blah. And we've talked about it on this show. I got a little nervous after they kind of took a little bit of a dip. But since last week, the boys look like they're playing some damn good baseball. Fucking Anderson struck out again.
As he inside of the 30 seconds later, where he says it's a meaningless game against the Reds.
Well,
it has a little scratch on it.
It's a meaningless game. It's a meaningless game. I don't care about that.
It's not so much that he struck out. It's that he struck out.
More
and
the
he
$50 I got on.
Oh, you need the bet.
Home run. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the pitch before that, he hit foul that went foul by about 2 feet to the right. Like, he just missed the pole.
I took Sox run line, so I just need a 2-run win.
Just remember the good times, though.
Oh my goodness, great.
And he's up right now, actually. And the best part about that video is it's against Amir Garrett, who just threw straight meat. And he just crushed it. And he just got a double or a base hit.
Every time you
Robert, pretty good.
You play that clip, you hear that sound again.
I guess that's a good place to start. So it looks like the team has turned the corner. They're really heading into this final run. It looks like the car's been cleaned up. The gears are running. Everything's looking really good right now. And it starts with Louise Robert, man. Holy fuck, dude.
He's been amazing.
There's just no other way to describe him than holy fuck. Like, he is absolutely pissing on baseballs. He just hit a base hit with 110 exit velo. Like, the dude is just destroying baseballs, makes it look effortless, making the plays in center field. He missed a ball tonight that would have been an unreal catch if he would have caught it, like cha-na-na, top 3. But he's been phenomenal. And then, I mean, everybody's really clicking right now. Grandal, since he came back. Oh, Louise Robert just stealing bases. Grandal, since he's come back, he's been on an absolute tear that's so valuable to this team. Jose Abreu, top 3 in the league in RBIs. He's doing his thing. It looks like we're getting Aloy back a little bit. It looks like his timing's starting to click. Moncada has just quietly been doing his thing this whole time. It's just everything's kind of coming together, man. And it's the right time. It's nothing like crazy. Like, I don't think they're at the peak yet, but they're definitely on the upturn. And I feel really comfortable that this is where they wanted to be going into the playoffs. Does that make sense? Did I make any sense there whatsoever?
Yeah, no, the guys are strong because there was that, like, those couple, I mean, probably a couple of months where, like, there was the inconsistent offense.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, even with guys coming back, and then, I mean, again, you guys haven't had the full fucking roster until recently.
That's a very, yep.
But yeah, no, it's always good to see, regardless of like the wins or losses, just like you want to see guys be in rhythm, having good at bats. I think really the only guy, and we talked about it last week with Jordan, was like the only guy who kind of just like it's been frustrating to watch has been Eloy a little, with like just not really, you know, he talked about that specific situation last week with against the Tigers, you know, back-to-back walks, you have the bases loaded, and then he swings at the first pitch, double play. It's like, dude, come on. Like, you can see the guy struggling to find the strike zone. Like, wait until he, like, you know, lobs one over the middle for you.
And it's funny, since our show last week, like, Eloy's been...
He's been picking up, yeah.
Yeah.
Against, who is it? Cleveland, right?
Cleveland and Detroit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then, but yeah, no, it's obviously great getting all the guys, again, just seeing the good at bats, seeing the whole lineup work as one unit. You know, the cliche there is one guy, it goes from one guy to the next. But no, Louise Robert, though, I think who was it? Matty Mitch, who brought it up. like him taking, because it was Yo-Yo. Remember how we talked about like, oh, Yohan Moncada is going to be like the number 2 hitter.
Mm-hmm.
But once Louise Roberts come back and he's been placed there, like he's been their best hitter by far. He is a threat with his speed, with the power. With you need a double, he'll fucking gap one. You need him to beat out an infield single just to keep the inning going. He'll do that. He's not striking out as much. He looks like a brand new player. Remember last year he started out hot, and then the last month was awful. It looked bad.
They brought it up. Friends of our show, Herb and Tannehill on the Lockdown White Sox guys, they brought it up, and I think it's a great point. I'll never say an injury is good. Like, that's not what I'm trying to say here at all, but like he's almost like hitting the midpoint of his season right now instead of hitting that end point. You know what I'm saying?
In his career, he's only played 120 games total.
Right. So like he's pretty fresh still. He's fresh, but he also has a ton more experience. And I think now more than ever, we're starting to see the 5-tool player that we were sold on when they signed him in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy to think he's been on the White Sox he's been in the organization for 4 years. Like you know what I mean? Like that's just nuts to me when I think about that. But the fielding's always been there. Gold Glove his rookie year. But the biggest thing that we've talked about on this show, that's another RBI for Pete though, is the plate discipline. Mm-hmm. He's not chasing low and away sliders anymore. You can't get away by just peppering him with low and away sliders anymore because he won't swing at it. And when he does swing at it, he's taking it the other field. But if you leave anything catches the plate, get ready for 110 exit velocity because that's what he does. And it's awesome. It's like I don't even really know what to do because I can't remember a time when the White Sox had a player that can do all 5 things like he does.
Yeah. No, I was just looking at his numbers from now. So in April or before the injury, he had 95 at-bats. He struck out 28 times. Since then, he's had 166 at-bats. He struck out the same amount of times, 28. Right there, you can see the numbers.
Yeah, I mean,
like the same amount and like double the at-bats.
And you're not seeing the same. You're not seeing the same approach either. The sequences are changing. You know, we were last year. We talked about the sequence too. It wasn't just soft away to beat him. It was they were peppering him with off speed. It was like 4 or 5, doubling up, tripling up, quadrupling up to get. So he has done what we talked about it on here too. You start hitting that, and they have to readjust. They have to figure out a whole other plan. Mm-hmm. That takes time. That's the 2 steps forward, 2 steps back kind of concept. They're going to figure him out again, but he has now proven that he's someone that puts the time in to improve. When the league finds a new attack plan, he then goes in and he makes an effort to improve that area. So
do you want to know what he just did while you were talking?
What?
You want to know what he just did while you were talking?
Hit a homer?
Stole home.
Dear God.
It was a wild pitch, but still.
Oh.
It's still it was like perfect.
Wait, did he actually steal home? No, it was a wild pitch.
But yeah,
Good
there's
read?
it was
obvious.
I'm just very excited about this guy. But it was just so perfect. Like you're talking about him, and I just look up and he's just crossing the play. I'm like, oh, okay.
Is it a stretch to say, dare I say, the most talented athlete? Now, I'm not saying best player yet, but dare I say the best athlete the White Sox have had since Bo Jackson?
Yeah.
Would that be a good? Because
I'm not arguing that.
I'm not going to say he's a better athlete than Bo because fuck that. That ain't.
I mean, Kevin, I don't think you have to stop short. I think you can make the case the way he's playing. Again, it's only been like the 2 months that he's come back, but he's been playing. He has been their best player. Mm-hmm. Like it has been really close. It's like him and Grandal.
Yep.
I mean, outside of stats, and I mean that's a very loaded opening sentence, but I think Louise Robert's the best player on the White Sox.
And like I think he's going to be like just out again, like that Manny Mitch pointed out.
They
He's
signed
7
him,
more years.
They signed him for so long, for so cheap.
And
Do you realize how good that contract looks now?
Like put a future. You can put a future bet like on any year for Louise Robert to win MVP, and I'd be like.
Is there a way to do that? Can you just bet that he'll win
the next MVP? 7 years?
I would like to bet the 2027 MVP.
Just like
I bet on this 14-year-old kid who hasn't made it.
I know what you're saying. So anytime during his career,
like win an MVP.
You'll probably get worse odds though. Just do it every year.
I'm probably am. for real. I really am. But he's just, dude.
Because the defense is going to be there. The defense is always going to be there. The speed until he gets into his 30s, the speed is always going to be there for the next decade or so.
Yeah,
so it's just can he, when the pitchers readjust to his adjustment, what will that? Obviously, I don't think he's going to be hitting 350 for his career.
Mhm.
But if he's a dude who's going to be slugging 550 every year with the ability to steal 30 bases, holy shit.
And
but the real question is he going to be as good as Cubs legend Trent Giambrone, who just got his first big league hit on the first pitch he ever saw,
hitting 1,000,
batting 1,000? Take that, Lou Bob. What do you got? Sorry.
Take it though. Take it. It's speechless.
Argue your case now. You can't argue.
Can't.
A guy that gets on base every single time in his career.
Yeah.
Every pitch of his career, he gets on base.
So say nothing if you'd rather have Giambrone than Robert. Oh, wow. Everybody heard it. He didn't say anything.
I didn't know you can mute my mic like
what
that.
What are you talking about?
Your silence is deafening.
Wow. Sox fans, do you agree? Trent Giambrone or Louise Robert? Next
Giambrone Express coming on through.
My biggest thing with Louise Robert is how effortless he makes all of this look.
No, he does.
He hits a tank to the concourse with 112 exit velo, and it looks like he's taking a warm-up swing. He chases a ball down in deep right center gap at the warning track, and he makes it look like a Sunday jog. I think that's how you really know when someone is truly great at what they do, is when they do it so well and they do it so effortless.
Since the minors, in spring training games, you can just see it. He has the it. Whatever it is.
Yep.
He's always had that it.
Yep.
Took the words right out of my mouth. The it. That's it. You cannot quantify it unless it's a clown under the gutter telling we all float down here, Georgie. But that's different. Fuck that clown. Fuck that it. But the good it is, he has it. Eloy, you got a little bit of it with an Eloy too, where you're like, that kid's he's just special. But I think Lou Bob, I'm sorry, I know he hates being called that, so I guess I won't call him that to his face. But Louise Robert doesn't, he's just that much more it than, this is what a superstar looks like when they're blossoming it out. This is what a superstar looks like when they're unrolling the beginning of something very, very special and a long stretch of stuff that's very special, as long as obviously health willing, which I don't see that other than, an occasional, blip on the radar here and there, that to be an issue. So he's incredible to look at. Just him and those guys up in Toronto, they are the future of this game, and they just look freakish. It's
unbelievable. And moving from Louise Robert though, the White Sox might have got lightning in a bottle with Gavin Sheets. Now, when Gavin Sheets got called up, he was the number 12 ranked prospect in the White Sox system. And we're talking about a kid that he was okay, in the minors the last couple of years as a first baseman, but he's the one that saw the writing on the wall and was like, if I'm going to be here,
these guys don't have a right fielder.
I'm not going anywhere as a first baseman.
These sound Adam Eaton.
I'm gonna go learn how to play right field right quick, because they do need a lefty power bat. And so I think it was his bat that got him the chance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think most people, especially, the working class people from the South Side and shit, appreciate a guy that is taking advantage of an opportunity like this. You know what I'm saying? Nothing was really handed to him. He got a little bit of a shot and he jumped all over it. And he's got 5 home runs in September, batting .279. My biggest thing with him, though, is 1, he adds that lefty bat dynamic. But 2, what we're seeing from him, especially in these last couple games, is just like I mentioned with Louise Robert. He's going oppo for base hits. He's finding holes in the infield and getting base hits. He's not 3 outcome anymore. And we're watching this kid's play just mature right in front of us. And when I say kid, he's not even that young. What is he? He's 25 years old. And in baseball years, that's right in the middle. But for the White Sox to be able to find that right before the playoffs, so now they can do a Vaughn Sheets 2-headed monster and play the pitching matchup. If the playoffs start tomorrow, Vaughn's my starting DH if the pitcher's righty. And I don't even think twice about that. I mean, I don't know, Fids. What do you like?
Yes, that's my short answer. Yes.
Yeah,
Go,
I know,
go,
but
Kevin.
like, what do you think makes a guy who is a career power hitter makes his way all the way up to AAA as a power hitter, and then he gets his shot in the pros, and all of a sudden he's finding these gaps? Is that just coaching, or is that just him adjusting to major league pitching?
I think it's a little bit of both. You can't quantify it with one or the other. I think it has to be, it's a collective success on all levels, whether it's his work ethic, whether it's a little bit of luck, whether it's just the approach of how they're coming at him, compared to AAA when they don't maybe have as much video, where they're coming at him with what they think are his weaker spots, and they're not actually gaping holes that they might look like on tape because he's making adjustments, midstream. I think a lot of it has to do. I do think that there is there's a concept of his timing was more suited for major league pitching compared to AAA pitching, or he maybe the launch angle is a tad different because of the change in movement and quality of location and spin rate. So that slight adjustment, that slight change in what it's like compared to AAA is a fraction of a difference on the barrel. But that fraction of a difference on the barrel is a fraction of it's a larger difference in an exit velocity or a launch angle and where the baseball is going timing wise. So I think that it's all of it. I think it's the perfect storm. I think his game just is suited for the major league experience, and that's some guys have that. You have some guys that go hit 400 at AAA and they get called up and they couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat. And then there's dudes that are like 220 hitters at AAA. And they come up to the show and they hit Frank Schwindel. They start doing it just translates. So you almost can't really put one thing or another on it. I think it's a combination of everything, and I think it's a community success.
To Alex's comment again, you could be watching us live on Wednesday night, but Alex did say he's slashing 232, 311, 321 with an 80 WRC plus in the previous 20 games. Heading into yesterday's game, this could be a little bit of recency bias. It is and it isn't. So those numbers do tell a story, but he's not an everyday guy. You know what I mean? So in September, he had 61 at-bats, and he's batting 279. So when you're not an everyday guy, it's not to the extent of a relief pitcher. But if you have one bad game, like I got one of the games against Anaheim, he had 3 strikeouts. Like that's going to fuck up your whole slash line way more than a guy that plays every day. He's been fairly consistent for me. I'm not trying to sit here and say he's like Louise Robert level. Like no one's saying
Not
that.
yet.
But what we're saying is you could put him in the 7 or 8 slot in the lineup, and that's a fucking boomstick in your 7 or 8 spot in your lineup. Like
You guys have to see the splits of how he's done against righties, and I don't even know how much he's played against lefties. Maybe not even that much. But also, you have to weigh the options of like, all right, so if you're going to have Adam Engel starting in right field, you then are you going to have Andrew Vaughn against a right-handed pitcher? We've seen the numbers. He struggled against righties, even when he was like had that breakout month in July. After that, the numbers came right back down. Or are you going to have Sheets against a righty? So I think that's the question. It's like, would you have Sheets or Vaughn?
I think
against a righty.
Against a righty, yeah.
Sheets for me.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think you're going to see Tony La Russa using all of the tools at his advantage now, and no longer is it about development. It's everything about who's the best matchup in the situation.
Yeah.
So
you would
whoever is
think
the best in that situation, you're going to get that guy in that spot. Period. Like this is no longer, hey man, let's just let this dude wallow and struggle a little bit so he can figure it out. There's no more figuring it out in the postseason. It's who's there at that moment. We'll worry about the development when the season's over.
100% agree.
Now it's this. This is our job. This is our role. So if Sheets is better against righties than Vaughn, you go with Sheets.
Again, I think you do the whole Sheets Vaughn 2-headed monster throughout the whole playoffs. Like I like the lineup.
How many lefties would you even face though? Like think about Houston.
I think Houston has one lefty starter.
I think it's one. Garcia or Valdez,
which I'd be okay with. But also, so you're a Cincinnati Reds team. You get Carlos Rodon, who's throwing 90-mile-an-hour, BBs at you, and then Kopech comes in. He's hitting 101 with movement. These dudes are just like, you can see the hitters' faces. They're just like, fuck this, dude. Like this dude. But anyways, I don't know. Again, I'm not trying to say Gavin Sheets is the savior. We're talking about a 7 or 8 hitter in this line.
Yeah, I think we're really talking about like
depth. He's not going to carry the team. But he provides. He fills in a gap in a lineup that allows you to move the line, and that's absolutely 100% vital in a playoff game, in any game. But moving the line, if he does it, he does it.
Who can easily, in a situation with one swing of the bat, completely shift momentum in a playoff game. You know what I mean? Like, you could be chasing 2-1, and it's like, oh shit, 7, 8, 9's coming up, and here comes Gavin Sheets, and now it's a tie fucking game.
Yep, and that's the thing. Like, people hate it, or some people hate it, but
right.
How do you win in the postseason?
And so Houston has 3 lefty relievers. I mean, you can't hide the kid forever, and he's going to be a DH. So then, whatever.
Pinch hit Vaughn, bam.
Right. This ain't Tony's first rodeo, but
by the way, okay. So I think the question of the DH, I think it's pretty easily. It's going to be Sheets Vaughn. Yeah. So I think there are only 2 other big questions, like who makes it the last roster spot. You know, like do you want an extra position player, or an extra pitcher?
Well, speaking of that, this is a big point by a friend of the show and very handsome mailman, Jack.
All right, let's get to that one first.
Yeah, Goodwin is on the 10-day IL.
So I think obviously he's gone because he can't come back in time for the start of the playoffs.
Yeah,
which means the guy that opens the spot for. And I was thinking about it right before we got on because I was thinking, all right, because I knew we were going to talk about the playoff roster. You always no. Well, that's the second question, Kevin. That is the second question, Kevin. Who's going to be the backup catcher? Yep, exactly. Mm-hmm. I don't know how Zoe's going to traverse through that conversation. Kay can't even say his name.
I mean, just put a bullet in a gun and fucking Russian roulette it.
But for the other outfield spot, do you go with okay? All right, so Goodwin could come back. Okay, so the question could still be a Goodwin versus Billy Hamilton. Oh. I would take Billy Hamilton for 2 reasons. So you want specific sets or a specific set of skills in the postseason from your bench guys.
Yep.
Billy Hamilton has 2 pluses over Brian Goodwin. He can play great defense and he can run as fast as the wind.
Yep.
He can be your perfect late inning defensive replacement, or he can be your late inning pinch runner. Yep. Mm-hmm. So I'd have Billy Hamilton over Brian Goodwin.
He's instant offense with the speed. The speed itself is and Goodwin is more of a guy that you fill in a gap in a long 162 games. When you've got to platoon guys and get guys rest, he goes out there and he does an admirable job of not being terrible. But when you're in a tight series and every little decision makes a difference, he's not that stretch out guy. Whereas you got a guy like with the tools that Hamilton has, you can get a walk by a bigger dude that's maybe not super fast, especially late in the game. Maybe it's like a 1-run game, right? And Eloy,
it could be Gavin Sheets,
it could be Gavin
Andrew
Sheets,
Vaughn.
They get a walk, pinch run, steal second, steal third. Someone hits a sac fly, instant offense. Now you got a defensive player that can go out there and man wherever you put him out in the outfield and improve the defense with a lead late, which is obviously what you want to do. Is have your best defense out there to play, postseason game when you've got yourself a lead. So,
and I mean, in all fairness, Goodwin has been more than serviceable for a guy that they picked up.
For what he has
but he also slashed 221, 319, 374 with 271 plate appearances. We're not talking about replacing Barry Bonds or nothing.
He made his name by he had the equivalent of what I think about what David Bodie did a few years ago. He had those great clutch moments.
Yep, and the bat.
But that makes you think he's better than the numbers show.
Exactly.
He's an replacement for Chris Bryant.
Yeah.
But as our comment section is pointing out, Billy Hamilton is 100%. Rick and Kenny style. They like to have the Willie Harris, the Dwayne Wise, the Jared Dyson. They like to have, and it's a valuable tool. I don't see
the Juan Pierre.
I don't think there's something wrong in this reasoning, but to have that pitch runner, defensive replacement guy, and that's what Billy Hamilton is. I mean, I think both Billy and Goodwin are strong presences in this locker room. Goodwin's a little bit more kick rocks hoe, where Billy's more of a big smile and dancing type guy, but they still both seem very well received in this locker. And I don't know. I think if it comes down to that, I think Billy's going to get the spot. I really do.
Mm-hmm. And then the other, I think, roster question.
The
is it your guy, Zach Collins, or Seby Zavala?
It's probably going to be Zach, mainly because of the lefty-ness of him. Obviously, Grandal, and it's playoff time. Grandal's your catcher.
Uh-huh.
I mean, neither of them really did anything to separate themselves from the other. Since they brought Zach back up, I think he's played once or twice. I think they're just going to go with Zach, just mainly because he's a lefty bat.
He's a veteran.
Yeah, and to answer Jack's other question, are we assuming that Adam Engel is on the roster? I am.
Yeah.
We didn't really get into it, Jack, too much, so don't worry about asking that question. But yeah,
You want to run it down? Let's run it down.
Yeah,
we're currently still only on bullpen spot number 6 in this rundown, Jack. So you got to wait a little bit longer till we get to the 4th pen.
So no. But speaking of the bullpen and like the position players, like what would you guys? Because it's 26 now.
right.
Would you do 14 and 12, 15 and 11, 13 and 13?
I think they go 14 and 12. I need a pen.
Kevin, do you want that extra position player or that extra pitcher?
With a DH, I use pitcher.
Yeah, I think it's a pitcher.
When you need to play the double switch game a little bit more with a National League style,
Yep.
you got to probably go with less pitching, more bats, just because of that whole equation. But now with a DH, you arms race all day long.
Yeah, I think the White Sox carry that extra pitcher. I think they go 12 position, 14 pitchers.
Oof. Since this is from Alex Rude, resident stat guru. Since August 15th, Zach Collins' slash line is 290, 405, 387 with a WRC plus of 127.
Seppi definitely falls into that category, although where clutch overcame.
Yeah.
Well, it was that 3 home run game.
Wait, are you telling me he hasn't taken a walk yet? His OBP and his batting average is the same. He's 135, 135, 243 with a WRC plus of -4. So that is actually a dead major league hitter. That's what that is indicative of. They've actually died.
Wait, so you guys think they're going to go with 14 pitchers?
I'm literally writing out my playoff roster right now.
I'm going to have 2 center fielders in my starting lineup, though. So.
Well, yeah, it would be like that Houston broadcast.
Robert.
Or mine from the beginning.
Vaughn.
But no, you had, see, what messed you up, Kevin, it was like you had like 2 right fielders because you wanted Adam Engel and Adam Eaton in there.
That's right. Yeah, I was trying to eyeball it too. I wasn't writing anything down. He's a no. You got to draw the chart out. You got to draw the chart out.
All right, who am I missing?
All right, what do you got?
Abreu, Tim Anderson, Yo-Yo, Aloy, Robert, Vaughn, Sheets, Lurie, Engel, Collins, Grandal.
Here, all right, hold on. I'll stop you. Let's go positions by position.
Okay, so
let's
catcher,
go infield.
Catcher, you have Grandal and Collins.
Okay, that's 2.
First base, I got Abreu.
Second base, Cesar Hernandez.
Oh, Cesar Hernandez. That's the one I left off. Yep, there you go.
Tim
actually, he's been turning it around a little bit.
He heard you.
Yep. So shortstop is TA. Third base is Yo-Yo. Your outfield, Aloy, Robert, Vaughn, Sheets, Engel. And then your utility guy is Larry
Garcia.
Yeah.
And Billy Hamilton.
You really pronounced Yerman Mercedes really strange. That was a strange pronunciation of Yerman Mercedes.
Oh, so Billy Hamilton, that would make it 13.
Yeah.
Right.
So they go 13-13?
I mean, I think they'd go 14-12. I thought they would have the one extra. I don't know who the extra position player would be. But I think they'd go at least 13-13. Let's go through the pitching staff.
All right.
If you're taking a barrel to try and find another position player, I don't think that you're going to have to worry about
Well, I think it would just be Brian Goodwin then. Unless you want another infielder.
I think you've got to go with arms. I mean,
I don't know. Let's go through the arms.
Giolito, Rodon, Lynn, and Cease. So that's 4.
Now, do they shuffle? Is it now the White Sox are going to have the first? They're playing a wild card, correct? Or are they?
No,
they're not going to have
the Astros. They're playing the Astros.
So it's going to be the Astros.
Yeah, in Houston.
So they've got a 5-gamer. They know that they're guaranteed the 5-gamer.
Yes.
And it's a 5-gamer, right? The first one.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you definitely, at that case, I mean, I don't know. You want a lot of.
You have your 4 starting pitchers, and then you have Hendricks, Hendricks.
Hold on. I'm writing it out. Let me just write this out real quick.
Kopech, Crochet.
So right now I have Giolito, Rodon, Lynn, Cease, and then into the bullpen now we go Kopech, Raylo, Kimbrel, Hendricks, Bummer. Who's the other?
Crochet.
You had Raylo.
And then you got Finger Boy, Tapera.
ET.
Tapera, that's right.
Oh yeah.
So that puts us at 11.
Dallas Keuchel?
Fuck, I don't want that guy near this team.
That's the thing. I think it's going to be 14-12.
Who the fuck am I missing? God damn it. I know Alex is about to light me up in the comments, but I deserve it. Yeah, Keuchel will be on there as a
I
long.
think it's Keuchel, yeah.
So, all right, I'll put him on there because he's an asshole.
Yeah,
So-
Kopech.
But then we need one more to make that 13.
No, see, I think the Sox are going to have another. I think that they'll have, if Goodwin's good to come back, he'll be on there.
You think they go 14-12?
Yeah.
So you think they're going to go more offense?
Because there is a DH spot, you don't have to worry about subbing out the pitcher.
It's
You don't
true.
have to worry about pinch hitter in the sixth.
I'm just trying to figure out.
in the new rule with the three minimum three too, kind of like the minimum of three changes that too. You can't just go like righty lefty righty, which sometimes would have
They wouldn't
burned.
do that because it
Did
would be
Evan
like
Marshall die?
Kopech multiple innings, and then it'd be like Kimbrel.
What the fuck happened to Evan Marshall?
Bad.
Was it just bad or death?
Who's the guy? No, was it Foster who just keeps getting sent down, or Marshall?
Yeah, Foster's he's the pup.
I think Marshall got an injury, didn't he?
He's on the 60-day DL.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought so. I was like, dude, am I just completely like? Which
Yeah, he's been gone for a while. Yeah.
don't smoke pot, kids. Or smoke a lot more.
Definitely do.
Don't
Give away all your
Lopez, he
Who do you
deserves
want,
to be-
Ruiz as your
don't
other
give
pitcher?
away your edibles for Halloween.
I mean, Ruiz, as much as he gets shit on by White Sox Twitter, I mean, he's carrying a 3.05 ERA right now and 65 innings pitched, but his K per 9 is 8.7. It's not great, but like, yeah, I think the way that we just broke this down, it's got to be 14-12, and Goodwin makes it.
Yeah. Unless I can't even think of another position player. I don't think they go three catchers.
The only thing I can
I
see that was
highly doubt
different
they
is
go three
if
catchers.
the White Sox look at a number and they see a number of somebody that we're not even mentioning right now that we think is someone kind of like on the fringe that's not really going to go, and then you look at the numbers and you dig in, and they've had a great deal of success with blank, blank, and blank on the Astros roster. You have somebody that consistently over the time in the past has gotten those out. You might see a name that you don't recognize, or not you'd recognize the name, but a name that you'd be kind of surprised for if those guys
Bird.
a favorable.
Or no, like Yumper just said in the comments, Jimmy Lambert. Jimmy Lambert might be that guy. I
No,
can
but
see
see,
them
that's the
bringing
thing
up,
because you already have Keuchel and Lopez as those guys in the bullpen.
right, but as history shows, the White Sox can use long-term relievers, especially with the question marks surrounding the health of these starters.
Just catching what they're
That's
doing.
true.
I know what you're
Yeah.
doing, guys. Yumper, Alex,
Yeah,
and I love it.
but I mean, to me, I'm ready to go to war with this lineup. I think this is a great lineup. I don't want three catchers. There's no way they need three.
Yeah, no, I don't
catchers.
think
They don't need three catchers. They got 4 first basemen, so that position is very covered. Abreu, Sheets, Vaughn, Grandal can all play first base. And you got Larry to be your super utility guy. Hamilton will be your pitch runner. Goodwin's a good guy to get in there if you need a pitch hitter or if something really goes sideways. I'd be fine with Dallas Keuchel. Dallas Keuchel could be either the Brian Scalabrine, a.k.a. human victory cigar, or he could be the human white flag.
No, like that's the thing. Like you'll know how the White Sox game is if you see it's
Exactly.
one way or the other.
Mhm.
They're either up by a lot and he just he's coming in there to clean up those innings, or they're getting blown out and it's like,
They're
all right,
getting
Dallas,
fucking
we don't want to
smoked.
waste our good pitchers.
Right. And it's just like you just go in there and do
Eat
what you gotta
innings.
do. Yeah.
Yep. Take your lump. Somebody's got to if that happens. I mean, you don't ever obviously you're not going to use a guy if it's a blowout, God forbid. And yeah, you're
You know what? I didn't think about this, but I think I just kind of wrote him off a few weeks ago because he kept getting on the IL. But the Adam Engel getting healthy is actually like a little like kind of sneaky important in terms of the outfield. Because imagine if he wasn't on there.
Timeout, Aldo. Sorry.
Oh.
Nightingale.
Sorry. Fucking Nightingale just tweeted out how Carlos Rodon looked good tonight.
All we need now is Beef Loaf to tweet it out, and Rodon might get hit with a comet.
Hold on. I'm going to find the tweet.
Oh no! All right, well, right off Rodon from
So,
the playoff roster.
Rodon's arm's going to fall off.
Rodon comes up with leprosy.
All right,
Book
so
it.
Keuchel's the number 4 starter in the rotation.
Oh, my God. That just fucking ruined my whole night. God damn
I mean,
it,
hey,
Bob.
he's written about the Cardinals. The Cardinals they locked
Here.
up playoff spots. So
Bob
there you go.
Nightingale at 9:00 on the dot. Carlos Rodon makes statement that he belongs in hashtag White Sox starting rotation for postseason by yielding 1 hit over 5 innings versus the Reds.
All right, so Carlos Rodon out of the rotation, injured.
Retiring, joining Space
Possible,
Force
possible death.
by aliens.
Fuck. I hate
Human
that
traffic.
shit. But no, Adam Engel definitely throws in a curveball to everything. I
Because
like that
imagine
he's
too is like you have to have either you have to have Gavin Sheets and Andrew Vaughn start no matter what, despite their numbers.
I mean, I think Adam would have to understand that he just hasn't been here. But a healthy Adam Engel in right field makes this team a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to understand how well this clubhouse has meshed over the course of the season through a lot of crazy shit, right? And
Yes.
you have to understand that most likely the way that this locker room has and this clubhouse has been this entire time, and how I would say, I mean, they've gone through the expectations far outweighed a lot of the pleasure during the season, I think, for a lot of those guys, and they stuck it out together. So I think that what you're going to get with this postseason group is dudes like Engel that are going to look and go, look, I'm just here to help. Whatever I can do. If you need me to be sharp for one AB every third day, I'm going to have the best AB every third day to whatever it takes to help this team win. All hands are on deck when you get to the postseason. And this clubhouse has shown time and time again that it has that mindset of next guy up, next player up. They've gone through enough guys with injury this year that I think 100% in that locker room, they have faith in every single dude, top to bottom, to get the job done because they have. And that's a huge confidence boost. Sometimes you get in the postseason, you get a guy like, shit, Billy's up. We're screwed. These guys have all been under the, at some point under the microscope and shown that they can handle it. So I think you're going to see team players, guys that are willing to, if they're not going to be whining about playing time at this point. I think you're going to see a lot of guys. I think Keuchel's the only guy that I could see making a stink in any of this, however the rosters drop, because I think that everybody understands what's at stake and how hard it's been as far as going through the injuries. They're not going to come this far and just say, fuck it, I'm gonna lose my shit now. I think they understand what's at stake now and what they've done. And I think that really makes for a really good clubhouse. And I think that's a thing that'll carry the Sox.
To that exact point, we were doing one of those Twitter group whatever things that I've been jumping on with Josh and those guys during the season. And Josh opened up the microphones for fans to interact or people listening, whatever. And this dude jumps on by the name of Chris Henderson. His Twitter handle is at C, which is SEE _Hendo. I didn't really know about this guy, but he has a pretty decent following and some pretty big names follow him. But apparently he has like unparalleled access to all things NBA and Major League Baseball. Like his profile picture is him and I believe it's him and Tim Anderson chilling in the dugout. Like this dude is there, and he's based out of Texas, but he jumped on the Twitter hangout or whatever and was like, he gave a little background on who he was just so we took his point seriously. And he's like, I've been in Major League Baseball locker rooms for years now. I have never been in a locker room as laid back and just like fun and energetic and like got each other's backs. It felt like I was in a room literally full of 26 like brothers. Like these guys were fucking around so much and just having a good time. And someone made a comment that's probably just because they whooped the shit out of the Rangers. But he's like, no, dude, like even when you talk to these guys one-to-one, like he's like, I'm not a White. He says openly, he's like, I'm not a White Sox fan, but if I'm a betting man, I wouldn't be surprised if this team went far because of just the vibe in the locker room.
That sounds so weird considering.
Bravo, Rick Renteria.
I was gonna say the concerns this year that the old man would come in and take all the fun away.
Now, some of those, but in all fairness, going into the season, some of those concerns I get, they were a little warranted, but you can have those concerns, but part of being like an objective person, someone that has like, that can just grow as a human being is you have to be able to admit, one, that you were wrong, or two, just be able to change the way you view things. And I thought I was a little nervous about Tony coming in and just how everything, and I'm very happy to admit that my concerns were unwarranted and incorrect, because he has turned this team into what it is now. And I haven't been this excited for a White Sox playoff run in a long time. It's a way different feeling than it did last year. Way different feeling.
Last year was a cup. You were just happy to be there, right? Last year was
this year it's for real.
Wow.
I know we joked about it last year. We were talking about like, oh, if my team doesn't win, it doesn't matter. But like, I mean, let's be honest, it kind of felt that way. It was a fake season. It was a 60-game season. It was like,
wait. I'm on a delay.
Money?
Tell me he just did it again. Tim Anderson, baby.
Home run?
Zoe is making some fucking banks. Oh, wait. Those odds were longer than Louise Robinson.
That was like plus 700.
That was three.
Well, I don't even know who Louise Robinson is. I
don't even care. I just made $350.
I mean, we need to tail all of Beeflo's like home run picks out.
Yeah. I'm just tailing Beefloaf. I love you, dude. I'm tailing all of your bets from now on. Not really, but I'm going to tail all your home run bets. And shout out to Yumper for like making me do it too. I wasn't going to do it, and he called me out.
He's done it 2 nights in a row too now. Yeah.
So that wasn't an option.
All the pressure's on those. If Beefloaf doesn't get the third, because I see now I'm scared because I saw it. I saw it with the Lou Bob, and I was mad because I was thinking about it, but I never did it. And then I saw the Tim Anderson one tonight, and I was like, should I do it? But then it was like, I think the game had already started, so I couldn't. So I already know I can't do it now because if I jump in, it's gonna mess it up. So I just have to let you guys keep going. Because the minute I jump in, it's gonna lose.
Sorry, I'm tweeting my excitement. I can't hold this one back. I can't believe that shit just happened 2 nights in a row. Holy fuck, dude.
What was the situation? Was it like
It's just literally just it was 5-0. No outs, bottom of the 7th. He just did his shit.
Was it a no-doubter?
It was not a wall scraper. Yeah. Beefloaf is still waiting for that Jets bet to hit, but woo.
This is offsetting. I mean, this is the reason he gets to make those Jets bet. The Jets bet.
So Beef's logic was that TA would be pissed off about this bullshit fucking suspension.
See, that's why I saw, because it was like 5, I think. It was like right before first pitch, and I saw that TA got suspended, and then I was like, oh, he's not playing. And then I saw Beefloaf's screenshot of the bet. I'm like, wait, this was an hour ago, so he's still in the lineup. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. They always appeal it or whatever. Or it's always delayed for some reason.
I can't believe that shit just said. Nobody tell him this is all. You're all on the honor system.
But now Kevin, we can't jump in on it because the minute we do, it's going to lose.
Oh yeah, no. Well, I can't jump in. Vegas doesn't. I mean, we don't. At least my sports book doesn't do. You guys are on. Yeah, well, we don't have the Nevada basically banned all the other betting apps unless it's a casino. Yeah,
Beefloaf bet $69 that he would.
That's
hit
right. Yeah, I saw
run.
it. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it was an opera shot.
I had to rely my bets on the plus odds for the Brewers and the plus odds for the Cubs winning after 5.
How many wins do the Cubs have? I just want to make sure this is money's like dead.
Today actually marked the.
What did you bet the overs though?
I can't remember.
Yeah. They're dead. They're like at 67 wins.
Today was Trent Giambrone.
5 games left.
Trent Giambrone, him pinch hitting there, makes it the National League record for players used in a season by an individual team, 65.
Oh, yeah.
So
congratulations, like this Giambrone guy.
You guys have the highest in baseball, and you ran out 65 different players in one calendar baseball season. Fantastic job.
Zoe, you're going to like this even more. Trent Giambrone a few years ago during the trade deadline, you know how they do the hug watches, right?
Yeah.
So he's in the minor leagues. I think he's at AA or AAA. He gets taken out like mid-game. He starts hugging guys because he knows that people are watching. Everyone's freaking out. We even have like beat reporters being like, I'm trying to figure out what's happening. There's like someone was like, oh, Trent Giambrone might be involved in a trade with the Tigers. It comes out after the game. Trent Giambrone is like, yeah, I was just doing to troll all of you guys.
All right, I kind of like this guy
I
now.
already like him. Yep. Him and Frank on the road must be a trip. Those two guys. It's the Frank and Trent show. Schwindel and Giambrone. Sounds like a banker. A
I
bank.
seriously think I'm just going to use this money to buy a playoff ticket.
I mean, you can. Oh, I mean, they went out on Wednesday today.
Yeah, and it was great. I would have to do it through either. I know some people who know some people.
Okay.
Or you can just secondary market,
Okay.
or I'll just hit up the TickBooks guy and be like, "Hey, buddy,"
or Thrinder. So
or see,
you have,
full circle.
you have twice the chance of talking to somebody that has tickets. So you even earn it.
An hour later, we come back full circle to Thinder. But yeah, no, it's a different feeling. Wait, I think that home run put my over bet in too.
Oh,
you
bravo.
beautiful son of a bitch. What did Boston do tonight?
Last I saw, they were winning by 1.
No,
Boston. All right.
They lose?
no, they got to win by more than 1. No, they won 6-0, dude. So that bet hit too.
Oh,
Let's
I don't know
go.
what it's
Wah, wah.
Well, speaking of betting, do you guys want to do our Wednesday?
I was just gonna
Bears
say,
picks?
perfect walk into
Those
that,
feeling hot.
dude.
So I had a horrible
slump.
Saturday betting college football. Fuck Mississippi State and their garbage quarterback.
Dude, did I tell you what happened to me on Sunday? Although
What happened?
2 separate larger bets, I lost by the hook.
Ah!
Yeah,
I
the hook
gotta
cost
get
me
mine.
a couple $100.
Chiefs
separate
game.
occasions.
Well, I told you guys how I was out on tilt like 2 weeks ago. I had like a huge like 2-game parlay, like plus money at halftime, and the fucking Chargers. I told you guys the Chargers in the red zone. What the fuck? That game against the Cowboys 2 weeks ago. All right, so Wednesday night or Thursday night, Jaguars Bengals. Get excited, people.
This is a juggernaut. I'm actually probably at halftime. I'll be walking into the theater to see Venom tomorrow night at 6:30 yard time. So that'll be
Venom.
I love the Bengals only because I hate the Jaguars are awful.
Well, hold on. I need lines here. I need what's
I
going
think
on
the
there.
Bengals are like minus
7.5. 7.5 Bengals, and the total is 46.
Give me the Bengals
Against Jacksonville
Yeah,
in Cincinnati.
and since they give me the Bengals minus 7.5,
The Bengals gave up 20 to the Bears, so
it's fine. Have you seen the Jaguars? The Jaguars.
I know, they're so bad. They're a dumpster fire.
And what's the number? 40 what?
46.
This game puts the White Sox over their season win total too. Congratulations to everyone that threw the over on that.
R.I.P. B-Flows under.
Ooh. I'm not going to talk shit about the guy that's made
That's
me.
right. I mean, he's
$600
making
in
up the
last
money.
2
Yeah,
days.
it's nice.
It's just Joe Burrow versus Trevor Lawrence.
Right. It's Joe Burrow versus Trevor Lawrence in Cincinnati, and Thursday night games are always absolute dumpster fires. Everything that I always think happens on Thursday night always goes sideways. Like come on,
you knew the Panthers.
Yeah, but
I'm looking at the under.
I kind of was too, man. I'm gonna take the Bungles minus 7.5, and then are we doing player prop bets? Can I do a player prop bet?
Player prop bet. Yeah, sure.
Jamar Chase scores a touchdown.
Chase?
Yeah.
TD, and then your Bears. Well, we'll get to the Bears in a second. And Aldo, what do you got?
For Thursday.
For Thursday.
Is my mic working? Okay, so I said the Bengals.
Jason Shreve taking the loss to the Cubs tonight.
Oh, wow. Pirates, trade him. He's awful. Wink, wink.
I'll be
Cubs.
texting him some shit talk tonight. That'll be fun.
Give me the Bengals minus 7.5, and no, I don't. I'm staying away from the total. Just Bengals. Bengals.
Yeah, I don't like totals on Thursday night. I definitely don't like totals on Thursday night.
I agree. That one definitely goes the other way.
Am I seeing this right? Are the Bears 3-point favorites?
They
Yes,
are.
that is correct.
Okay, you know what? No. Because I thought the same thing against the Bengals. I still love it. Give me the Bears minus 3.
Oh shit! You said that with a lot of confidence.
Give me
too.
the Bengals minus 3. Or
Bears.
Bears.
Okay. Do you have an individual player to score a touchdown in that Thursday night game?
I do not. No.
I'm gonna take.
I
think
like
I'm
the
gonna.
Chase one now. No one's...
Dude, Jamar Chase has been fucking very good lately this season.
I'm going Robinson with a TD.
I think that's fair.
He's looks like 500. That's not bad. I don't know, man. I feel like Matt Nagy's setting things up this weekend because he knows that if he loses, he's fired.
Yeah.
Which is a report.
That's what I'm telling the Bear. He always fucking does this.
Yeah, he does.
I think the three of us on here are Nagy haters, but he always fucking beats the Lions.
Dude, he's that guy that you work with that always does something to keep himself from getting fired.
Just enough.
We've all worked with that guy. We've all worked with that guy.
He wears just enough flair at tchotchkes to showcase that he's a hard worker.
What's the total on that one?
42.
Over. Give me the over. I think they'll put up some points finally.
So let's see here. We're over.
Bears 42. And the over.
Hold on, I'm pulling.
I'll take the over in that too. Yeah, I'm over 42. I think that those two teams are going to.
Lions. I know the Lions have played some really good teams.
Just so you guys know, the line is on PointsBet. The line is 2.5 now.
I love it even more.
Yeah, that's better for you guys. That's better value for you guys. I'm looking at Stations Casino. That's what I go through here, and that's at -3, -3 right now.
I'm gonna go with the Bears, minus the 2.5, and then I'm going Jared Goff over 1.5 touchdown passes.
Okay. Justin Fields rushing touchdown. That's my player prop.
Hold on, I'll give you the odds on that one. My Jared Goff over is +120.
I want a Jimmy Graham touchdown. I want a 2-yard catch in the 4 plays. One of his 4 plays, he's on the field.
One of the times he doesn't know how to block.
Hold on, I'm pulling up player to score.
Get out in the flat. Be bigger than everybody else.
By the way, shout out to our sister podcast, the Bears podcast. It's
those guys.
Club Dub.
Club Dub. I was going to say Dub Club, but I was wrong.
Oh, is Graham hurt? Is Graham hurt? I didn't know that. Shoot. Well, hold on, man. I might have to go to our boy instead. Our Notre Dame guy. Komet. Let's see what Jimmy Graham. Let's see. Is Jimmy Graham? Oh, just veteran rest. It's a veteran rest day today.
Yeah, he gets that a lot. He's worth.
Oh, by the way, I know this isn't. Obviously we're onto the betting section of this show, but everybody check out Club Dub every Thursday and after the Bears games.
They really do a good job.
Sports Mockery Network. You'll catch them on Twitter on Sports Mockery and Sports Mockery on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
But so the big news: Arlington Park. Are you guys for it or against it? Do you like it? Hate the idea?
So this is my thing, dude. I really don't care. Third
option.
I think it's
apathy.
It was weird. Like, I saw all these people talking about it, and people getting mad, and people getting into fights, and people saying you can't say the Bears are your team if you don't live in the city. Like, there was some crazy shit going on.
Oh, I think I did see that.
There was some crazy shit going on.
Sure, Jan.
So I'm seeing all this go down, and I'm just thinking in my head, like, all these scenarios and all this shit, and I'm just like, I don't care. Like, I really do. But you know what I do care about? And since you brought this up, I don't want the White Sox. All these people now, and I think Barstool Dave or White Sox Dave brought it up. He's like, oh, the White Sox should move in when the Bears move out. No. That's a hard no for me. Dude, one of the reasons why it sucks going to a Bears game right now is it's a logistical nightmare. Getting to and from the park blows. The parking lot sucks. One of the things that makes guaranteed rate is lot B, dude. Like, having these huge fucking parking lots that are easy as fuck to get in and out of with bars that you can walk from the bar to the game. Can't do that at Soldier Field. Not like that.
Have them turn the stadium around.
Right.
What do you do with Soldier Field now? Like, what do you do with it? It lost its status, didn't it?
Let's bring back the gladiators. Let's just get some real man-to-man combat.
No, it's going to be home of the Chicago Fire, the soccer team, and
don't they have their own stadium?
No, they play there now, dude. They were playing.
They don't play in Bridgeview?
Not anymore. Not since last year.
Okay.
And then
concerts,
college football games. I mean,
Yeah,
they
you guys
always
still
have.
do bowl games. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do
And-
college football.
And as much as I don't want that to happen, I think Alex is right. It'll be condos, expensive ass condos on the lake.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean that's.
You know what I
probably
mean?
what's
That makes the most sense. And
What about you, Kevin? What do you think about Bears eating Arlington Park?
I wish they'd have done a better job with the Soldier Field renovations the first time and not made it the spaceship.
Yeah,
But
not wasting all that money for the smallest bad city in the NFL.
that failure right there kind of basically was like the death delivery. It was just you were dead and you didn't know it kind of thing with Soldier Field. So again, Allegiant Stadium here, is the top of the line. Here in LA, the two new stadiums in the NFL, and having now been in both places, it is Soldier Field is so antiquated. It's actually kind of disgusting how bad it is compared to like a modern stadium. And so when you get to go to some of these newer stadiums, whether it's LA here, Atlanta, some of these like newer concepts, you realize how ill prepared. Whether it's the turf, whether it's this or that, it's the wind or the Bears. A move to a new location or at least a facility and a playing location that is top of the line is something the Bears. I mean, you want to have a successful franchise, put them in a place where they're healthy at the optimal, training facilities, et cetera, and if the move to the suburbs is fine, where I'm from, I'm Roselle, Medina, that's 10 minutes away from where I live. So I guess I'll party at Beer Garden Jim's house and, we'll all take a lift from Beer Garden Jim's house because he lives right there near the. And I basically love going to Arlington for the 4th of July fireworks every year too.
There's so many positives to moving out to Arlington, in my opinion. They already have an L. It's right off the highway. They can already improve the public transportation there. And I've seen all these people, oh, man, if they make me drive all the way out to Arlington, these suburban cops are going to feast on DUIs. Crazy thought. Get a fucking Uber.
Don't drink and drive.
Or just don't drink and drive.
The other argument that I think I'm with you, though, like if they move it or not, like I don't really care. I mean, I've never gone to a Bears game, and I'm just not a big go to NFL games. Like it's like the viewing experience.
I'm not that big of a fan of it, but
but like the argument I do not get at all is like, oh, how can you move them all out of the city and like call them the Chicago Bears? Think about other NFL. The Dallas Cowboys play in like Arlington, Texas. The New York Giants and the New York Jets play in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And the Raiders Giants are like not even in San Francisco.
The Raiders aren't the Paradise Raiders, and guess what? The Allegiant Stadium is in Paradise, Nevada. It's not in Las Vegas.
So that argument's dumb.
Yeah, I don't get that. It's like, oh, how can you still call them the Chicago Bears?
There was just a lot of stupid meatball shit going on.
Yeah, and it's headquartered in Lake Forest, for God's sake.
Think about what they could do with that too. They so much more parking.
Instantly, the parking.
Instantly build a community around there, bars and restaurants.
Everything, the hotels, everything, the nightlife, everything. Then
Arizona has a perfect example of like how you build around like.
Oh yeah, so the Arizona Cardinal. Well, I guess they're the Arizona, but they play in Glendale. They're not in Phoenix or anything.
That whole setup they have there is really nice with all the restaurants, and bars, and easy.
It's like year one, you're getting the Super Bowl. You're going to get multiple Super Bowls because you're going to have an indoor stadium, like
college bowl games.
You're going to get college bowl games. You're going to get Final Fours. You're going to get like Big Ten championships, like all basketball and football.
All the shit that people that are complaining about the move, kick and scream about that are never in Chicago.
Right?
How come we never get any bowl games? Because Soldier Field is a glorified Park District football field.
Check this out: Vegas got Allegiant Stadium, and inside of it opening up. They're saying 2025 Super Bowl here or whatever that. There's one opening that's the one that's going to come to Vegas. You've got the Pac-12 championship every single year. You've got yesterday they announced Notre Dame, BYU here. Like you're getting these, Final Fours. You're getting tournament areas. You can host these huge events, and that's the best part about it. Because that's the stuff that brings the money to your economy. The Super Bowl itself, actually, a Super Bowl has generally been proven to be a drain on your economy for most stadium system setups. Vegas is obviously a little bit different because how Vegas is set up specifically as a yeah, but with Arlington Heights, it is a big undertaking, but it's also a status symbol, and it means a lot to a community to host that, and I think communities are usually okay with the tax hit and the money that it costs to get it done because that whole week of Super Bowl is so good for everybody's business, and everyone enjoys it. And it becomes like a community kind of moment. And imagine Arlington Heights, which is, just not, it's not like a mecca of like party and whatnot. But if you build that whole facility, it's an all-encompassing experience, and that's what it's an untapped keg of special ways of drawing more revenue for the game.
Here's my thing with going to actual, you can get a WrestleMania too. Good point, Yumper. Here's my thing about like going to a Bears game right now, dude. Like there's no substitute for seeing a sport live. I'll say that before I get into this, but the way Soldier Field is set up right now, like if I get up at the start of, let's say, the second quarter, and I walk down for most seats. I know this isn't all seats, so you could save the comment like, oh, my seat's in section, and it's right there. But when you go down and you go to the bathroom and get a beer and all this other shit, like by the time you get back to your seat, you've missed at least half the quarter. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not a good flow to the stadium. I respect and appreciate the historical value of said stadium, but like, you got it from a money aspect, from like a getting events to Chicago aspect.
It's like most aspects. It's impossible.
Literally, it's pretty much all aspects for me. So
I just thought of
I think
this.
I've almost changed my viewpoint from I don't care
So, like,
to like I'm pro
good.
for it. I'm pro.
I just thought about this, and I haven't seen it, but I'm sure it's been brought up or it's going to be brought up. But I just got to say, bear weather overrated.
Yep. And
because that's going to be brought up.
Oh, yeah. And with a new stadium system comes like new scoreboards, and if you're really cool.
Ah.
Wow. I was actually surprised how you worked that in. I saw the post, which was cool, but I think I'm for it now. But again, very against the White Sox moving.
Well, that's right. The World Cup, because the World Cup is going to be in North America in 2024 or whatever. Or 2026, whatever it is.
Concerts, outdoor concerts in the post-COVID era are going to be something that are far more frequent than indoor concerts. And I think when you see, like, again, these types of venues, Allegiant, the one in LA, they're putting on these gigantic performances, like, Garth Brooks in the round. Like, you've got those are sellout crowds too. And you can, again, festivals. You could have an Arlington Heights music festival at the new stadium, not Lollapalooza, something else completely, because Lala's Lala. So there's so many different applications for having that. I know that people from the city are like pissed off, like, oh, well, I'm from Chicago and I'm to go out to the suburb. Yeah, well, good, welcome. Hey, we've been doing it for.
Dude, time goes on. Things got to be bigger and better. Like, if you want all these events, again, WrestleMania, Final Fours, Big Ten games, bowl games, fucking World Cups, like all these major events in the Chicagoland area, this needs to happen.
Yep.
If you believe in Justin Fields, you want him playing in an indoor stadium, not when it's negative 20 degrees in December.
We're at an hour and a half.
Alex says it perfectly, by the way. Hodge said, is it Merrill Hodge, right? Said it in his 11 years of covering the Bears, there's been one game where bear weather actually mattered. And that's these guys aren't born and raised in Chicago. It's not like it's the 1930, the Chicago
from Chicago.
They're not like working they've been working in the the factory.
I remember bear weather. Houston Texans beat the fucking Bears. That's bear weather.
These guys are from SoCal and shit. Like, no, the cold weather. They're like, I can't wait for the cold weather. Bullshit. No football player in today's society, other than like the offensive linemen, like this cold weather crap. Like,
I can honestly only think of one other game that mattered where it was cold, and it was like the Falcons and the Bears. Like, that was the only other game.
Right. Yeah,
but hey, guess what? They're both fucking like you said, Kevin. These guys are like from Florida. They're from California. They're from Texas. They fucking hate the cold too.
Yeah, no, that whole thing, it was great when like the dudes lived and were born and raised, and they were the playing in the NFL was a part-time job. Where they at age 12 they were working in the coal mine. So it's different. It's not the same. So you want the best facilities for your players to train, health. All that stuff makes a difference. How many people, how many players in the past have the Bears lost because that turf alone at Soldier Field has been a shit show since I can't recall since the renovations of anybody, because it used to be turf, right? It was turf for a bit.
Yeah.
And that was dangerous. I mean, hell. And then you've got this stuff, and they went to the natural grass, and it's always an issue. And your own, at the new stadiums, you can literally track in, turf. What's the better turf? You have multiple layers of turf that they track in on a track in and out. Vegas, we have field turf for UNLV, and then the Raiders, they have two different whatever they call it. They're on like a tray of sod, basically a football field.
Yeah, the Cardinals do that. Yeah.
The Cardinals do that too, right? Correct. And so that right there alone is good for the Bears because again, you're going to have healthier players. You're going to have your speed guys are going to be speedier. You're going to have all that stuff becomes less of an issue because again, when you bog things down like the Bears do. You win ugly. It's been a while since the Bears had a team that was set up for that anyway. Like it's an offensive-minded, league. So you go with stuff that makes people faster, which is better turf, better everything.
I just want to cap off the episode by saying Frank Schwindel, greatest hitter of our generation.
I don't know. Trent Giambrone.
Trent Giambrone second.
All right, so
it's got to earn it tomorrow.
Appreciate everybody tuning in. The comment section, everything, always a great time.
Thank you.
This time next week, man, we'll be.
That's right. We might be doing. Game 1's on Wednesday, right?
I believe so, man.
Doing an afternoon game or is it an evening game?
We're gonna have to make sure we cater to
that. No matter what, we'll try our best to go live, like at least in the 8th inning. If it's just two of us, one of us, all three. Yeah,
we'll be popping up.
Absolutely.
But appreciate it. Great season, everybody. I can't believe that we're ready to take a playoff run as AL Central Divisional champs.
Cubs almost top 5 pick.
The Cubs, it's the Bart Simpson's gift of the birthday cake that says, at least you tried.
They did for like 2 months.
But we appreciate y'all. Love y'all. And we will we'll see you guys next week.